Hello, friends. How are you all doing today? I hope everything is going well for you and you're enjoying your day, your night, or whatever part of the world you're in. You know, like I said in some of my videos, I have a very vivid imagination. And not only do I have that and have always been that way as a child, I also think a lot. And by no means am I a philosopher, because I'm not. But I've always thought a lot about different things and asked questions. And sometimes as I've gotten older, it's kind of hard for me to shut that off. It's like it wants to take up residence in my mind, and I have to kick it out. So today, as I'm sitting here with my coffee, you know, sometimes when I get up in the morning and I'm brushing my teeth, I have all of these thoughts and I have all of these questions, and my mind sometimes can be racing. And I'm like, wait a minute now, it's early. You need to quit and leave me alone. Sometimes I can shut it off and sometimes I can't. But I wanted to talk to you about one thing I was thinking about this morning. And by the way, there's my tattoo right there. I have another one. Now, I had this put on because I had a lump removed about 10 years ago, and it keloid. You know, this one got real big and puffy. And so the doctor tried to smooth it out with injections. But after so long, it was not getting any better. And I got tired of going to that office, having those injections and paying my copay. So I decided one day, my daughter and I were together, and she said, Mom, why don't you just have that tattooed over if it bothers you so much? Because it was pretty big. And maybe it shouldn't have been a bother, but, you know, people are different. So I said, okay, I think I will. So I went to this tattoo artist, and he tattooed over the scar. It's right in there. And with a rose. You see that with the rose? Now, this is about 10 years old, and it still has color and everything. Man, did that hurt when he started tattooing over that rose. Because what it did was, because that skin was so tender from the scar and from the keloid, it was terrible. I thought he would never get through. I thought I was going to have to run out of there. But he did finish, and it did somewhat camouflage it. It did. And then, you know, recently I had when I went to Hawaii, I had the hummingbird put on my arm, which I really love. I was in my doctor's office yesterday, and the girl was trying to draw blood. And she said, oh, Miss Mary, that is so beautiful. And I said, well, thank you. This is a piece of Hawaii that I brought back. And you know, whenever I go to have blood drawn, I try to drink a lot of water in the first 2 days, because I have these type of veins where they want to roll, they want to shrink, they want to be small. And so it's hard for the technicians to draw blood. Well, when I went to my doctor yesterday, I did not know that they were going to, you know, draw blood and do those tests, which is just normal procedure. So she stuck me one time. She said, I'm going to get a small needle. And she did, and she couldn't find it. She said, I don't want to stick you again. I just don't want to do it. She said, so you come back next week and you drink plenty of water for those first 2 days before you come back. Because when I drink water, since I have this problem, it plumps my veins up, and I don't have them sticking me so many times. So I said, okay, let's do that. But anyway, you know, I'm just sitting here kind of rambling on, as you could see. I enjoy talking to you so much. Friends, I enjoy talking to you all. I was telling my niece last night how much I enjoy this YouTube channel and how much I enjoy talking to my friends. But like I was saying, I have this type of mind that races, and sometimes I can't shut it off, and all of these questions come in. I've always been like that. I've always been an inquisitive person. I always wanted to know, why is it like this? Or, you know, just always. So as I was brushing my teeth this morning and washing my face and getting ready for my coffee, the thought came to me about living alone. And you know I live alone. My husband passed in 2006, and I haven't remarried, and I live alone with my little dog, Charlie. Living alone sometimes can offer its challenges. Sometimes it can offer challenges that are good and maybe that are bad. It all depends on how you accept those challenges. So, as I was thinking this morning about happiness versus joy, as far as living alone, because I don't hear a lot of people say that they're happy living alone. So I looked it up in the dictionary, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to kind of look away for a while because I'm going to read to you what it says from the dictionary. Happiness is a temporary external emotion that comes from events or circumstances, while joy is a deeper, more internal, and lasting state of being rooted in purpose and contentment. Joy is a deep, profound, and enduring state of being or contentment. Joy originates from within and is often connected to a sense of purpose and well-being. Joy transcends circumstances, allowing you to feel positive even in and amid hardship. Happiness is temporary and fleeting, while joy is long-lasting. In conclusion, you can pursue happiness, but you choose joy by aligning your life with what truly matters. So, in essence, when I looked at it, it says happiness is a fleeting emotion that comes and goes. It is often triggered by external events, possessions, or accomplishments. Happiness tends to be a reaction to something good that happens to you. But joy is a deep and profound, enduring state or contentment. Joy originates from within and is often connected to a sense of purpose and well-being. Joy transcends circumstances, allowing you to feel positive even in the midst of hardship. Happiness is temporary and fleeting, while joy is long-lasting. Aligning your life with what truly matters helps to bring joy. Now, in my life, I've often gotten joy and happiness confused. But after reading this, what I got out of it was, and you may have gotten something different, but what I got out of it was that happiness is temporary. It depends on circumstances, external circumstances around us, such as buying a new car, buying a house, accomplishments you may have made. These things bring happiness. But joy is a profound inner action that doesn't come from these external things. It comes from inside. So happiness can be temporary, but joy is everlasting. Now, in reading this, I had to kind of think about it there for a while as far as the difference in happiness and joy. And like I told you now, I think a lot and I ask questions. And like I said, I'm no philosopher, but I do think a lot. Getting back to what I was saying, there are a lot of us that live alone. There are a lot of boomers, and not just boomers or older people or seniors. There are a lot of young people. I read this article where people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are choosing to live alone. For whatever reasons, they're choosing to live alone. I don't think that's a bad thing if that's a choice you make. After my husband passed, I chose to continue my life living alone. Now, does that mean I would never consider marrying again? No, it does not mean that. I don't close those doors. See, I'm a spiritual person, and I know it's not just all about me being so great. It's just not. So, some doors I don't close because I don't know what the future is. But in living alone, there are challenges. Now, I had a friend one time who said to me, one of the problems they had with living alone was, what if I get sick and can't take care of myself? What's going to happen? And I'm like, wow, yeah, you're not the only one who think that way. There are a lot of people who think that way because I've thought about it. But here's the thing, the way I handle it. You can't let the what ifs take up residence in your mind. They will move into your mind and pay no rent, and they will hold you hostage. They will prevent you from moving forward, and they will prevent you from living the best quality life because of the what ifs. And guess what, friends? Sometimes the what ifs never happen. And you've had them in your mind. You've been concerned about them. They've stolen your joy all of these years, and they never happen. So you know what I say to those fears about that? I kick them out. You're not paying rent up here. You got to go. Because I'm going to move forward. And I'm going to move forward without fear. Because I don't know the future, but I know who holds the future. And so fear can hold us hostage from so many good things in life. And I don't know how you deal with fear, but I try to kick it out. I try to move it away. I try to proceed without fear, even though I don't know the future. So living alone does produce some challenges, and I know that, you don't have anyone to make your decisions with. Oh, you can call family, or you can call friends, or you can have a confidant. But at the end of the day, guess what? You've got to make the decision. And sometimes those decisions can come with a lot of thought and sometimes with a lot of stress. I know that because I've had to make decisions by myself. And some of these decisions have been very hard to make. But hey, that's life after decisions. And here I am. I made the decision and I'm just fine and all is well. And then there's the thing about living in the house alone, not having anybody to do things with, not having that significant other, however that significant other may be, a husband, a friend, a companion. You call it, because it's a lot of situations in life now. And so I had that problem at first. But, eating breakfast alone, dining out alone, like I said, having to make decisions alone, those things were stressful. And sometimes they still can be pretty stressful. And I know that, friends. When you choose to live alone for whatever reasons, be it someone passing, someone moving away, or you're an empty nester, whatever the situation might be that causes you to find yourself in a situation where you're alone. This is how I handle it. It's all right. I may not know the future, but I try to stay in the moment. I'm full of gratitude and I'm grateful for my life. And so I try to stay in the moment. I try to enjoy things right in the moment without the fear or the isolation that comes with living alone. Now, do I have my moments? Yes, I do. I'm just like you. I'm not going to sit here and say everything is, it's just okie dokie. No, it's not. It's how I handle it. It's how I look around and I see the beauty in the world, and I see the beauty in people and the beauty in events. And, I can enjoy those events whether I'm with someone or whether I'm not. And I'm going to tell you another thing that living alone has opened my eyes to. Most of my life, I married very young at the age of 21, and I've been married twice, and I have 2 children, 2 grown children. What it has brought me this time, and you can call it time of solitude, time of reflection, I have had time to really get in touch with myself. Mary, Who is Mary? And where does Mary fit in the universe? What's important to Mary? What does Mary want to contribute? These things I never had time because I always worked and I always raised a family. Now I have these moments during meditation to ask these questions about myself, and not only ask these questions, but to reflect on the answers. You know, solitude and quiet time is not an enemy. It can bring about a lot of thought and a lot of changes in our lives. Because we live in such a noisy world that we don't really have time to really sit down and get in touch with our inner selves. Our inner selves are crying for attention. They want to speak. And so a lot of times we don't listen. We don't have time to let the inner person speak. So in these last, 20 years, it'll be 20 years, 2026, that I've been alone. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about Mary because I've had time and quiet to connect with who I am and what I want and what I can give in this world. And you know what? I found it to be wonderful. Not over with because I'm a certain age, no, but still flourishing. I have a lot to give and I have a lot to say. And so living alone has been a challenge. Sure it has. You know, there are some seniors who go months and nobody calls, nobody comes by. I really don't have that. Now, my phone might not ring for, say, maybe 3 days, but then it'll ring. And I might not have company, but then I'll have company. But those quiet times when the phone is not ringing and I'm sitting here with my coffee and my little dog, Charlie, I'm in touch with my inner self. That's when I can make better decisions. That's when I can say, fear, you got to go. Get out of my mind. You are not taking up residence. Because I'm going to move forward. I'm going to be who God has purposed me to be. And it's all good. You know, I have a friend. She always says this to me. She says, all is well. All is well. It really is. So, you know, I know there are challenges. Oh, I get lonely like everybody else, especially around the holidays, you know. It's just something about the holidays that bring on that nostalgia, that looking back. You know, I'm a person, I try not to live in the past, but sometimes I do. I mean, there are reflections of the past. And sometimes I do, because I feel for me, the past has made me who I am. Even the good times and the bad times, they've made me who I am. You know, my mother passed when she was 75. My mother was a very compassionate person. Very compassionate. She loved everybody. She gave of herself. She took care of her family. She was a very compassionate person. And you know, as I age, you know, some people say as you age, you start seeing your parents in you. You look in the mirror and you see that reflection. I've had family members that tell me, you know, you're looking more like your mom. You're looking more like Big Mama, because they used to call her Big Mama too. And I look in the mirror and, you know, I see it. At first I didn't, but I see it. And I see the reflection of my mother in me. My father died when I was 4. So I don't really remember him. I have pictures of him. And but my mom raised me. And so when I look in the mirror, I see the reflection of my mom. The older I get, you know, that sometimes I even say the things that my mom used to say. And I'm like, oh, my mother used to say that. Friends, is all good. Living alone can bring a lot of challenges, like I said. But it's all in how we handle those challenges. It can bring financial challenges. It can bring emotional challenges. It can bring just so many challenges. But here's the thing. We've come this far and we've worked through these challenges, and so we don't stop at this point. You just keep right on working through them. You just keep right on working through them. And yeah, I have those days, sometimes I'm like, oh, and I reminisce about the past and how it used to be. But then I say, I am still here and it is a good day and I'm going to enjoy it. Because how does that saying go? The present is a gift. It's a gift. So what do we do with gifts? We open them, we see what's there, we enjoy them, and we love them. So every day is a gift. That's how I see it. And I try to stay in the present, even though I'm the type of person, I have to admit, I rush through stuff. And I'm working on that. Because of the personality that I have, I want to rush up to the 4th of July, even though we went in October. I'm going on a trip in June of next year, and I want to rush up to the trip. You know what? I better enjoy today and enjoy every day thereafter and every month and every year. Because you know what I love about this time of year, we're in October where I live. In life, there are seasons. There are seasons. In nature, there are seasons. There are seasons. Where I live, there is fall, there's winter, there's spring, and there's summer. And with every season comes changes. In the fall, it comes the falling of the leaves and the grass stop growing. In the winter, it comes the fireplaces and the hot chocolate and the hot toddy. In the spring, it comes new birth. New birth. Leaves on the trees, flowers blooming, birds coming out of hibernation. And in the summer, it brings hot time in the summertime. Can't sing, but you know what I'm talking about. So there are seasons, and so are there seasons in life, just like there are seasons in nature. So there are seasons, and we have to enjoy every season in life, and we have to, even the hard times. Now, let me say, I don't enjoy the hard times, I really don't. But I don't let the hard times take me out. You know why? Because I know they're only here for a season. It's not gonna last forever. And then when the joyous times come, I just roll around in those joyous times because I know down the road somewhere they may end too. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy all the seasons of life. I work through them. I try to keep pushing through them. And so even though there's seasons in life when you live alone, they're good times, and there are times when you want to reflect. There are nostalgic times. There are times when family and friends are around. There are times when you are alone. There are times when you think back about your past and how it used to be. It's all good. It's all good. So I have learned. I remember when my second husband passed. I remember telling my girlfriend who had lost her husband a couple of years before I lost my husband. I said, you know what I'm doing? I'm standing I put everything in one pot and I just stand at the stove and eat out of it. Out of the pot. And you know what she said? Well, my goodness, that's what I did. I just put everything in a pot, heated it up on the stove, and just stood there and ate. I said, well, why did you do that? I know why I did it. I hated to sit at the table alone. I just couldn't do it. I hated to sit at that table alone and look across and see that empty space. But you know what? It took time. And now I could sit at the table and eat and enjoy my food and have joy. Because I have joy, not just happiness. Happiness is temporary. It depends on external events in our lives. But when you have real joy, it resonates in your spirit, in your soul, in the things you do, in how you handle life, the decisions you make. It took me a while to learn that, friends. So I want to encourage my friends, be you my age, older, younger, it doesn't matter. We all are a part of the human race. And we all share a bond. So I just want to encourage you all that it's all right. We go through things, but it's all right. And I'm a survivor. I am a survivor of many things in my life. And one day I'm going to sit down and tell you some of those things that I have survived. And so I'm thankful and I'm full of gratitude. And who knows? I don't shut doors that have good things behind them. I never say, oh no, I'm going to slam that door shut. No, I don't do that because I don't ever know what good thing may be behind that door. So I tell my friends, I'm going to always leave a crack. It may not be wide open, but there's going to be a crack in that door to bring those things that are for me, whatever they are, those good things that are for me. So I just want to encourage some people today. Like I said, I get up in the morning and my mind is racing and I can't turn things off. And I was just thinking, I want to just sit down and talk to my friends this morning. I just want to have just a chat. And if you have anything you'd like to say to me, any challenges you have about living alone. And like I said, this is not an age group. It's a lot of people living alone now. And it's a lot of people having challenges and trying to just have the best life they can have in the situation that they're in. Put it down in the comments if you'd like to. Put it down there. And so if you like my content and you want to put a thumb up for me. If you want to follow me on this journey called life, on this journey of joy. Go on there and subscribe for me if you don't mind. I'm not necessarily on this channel to make money. That's not my goal. My goal is just to reach out to people. You know, my friends tell me all the time, Mary, you know you could talk to a rock. Well, I pretty much can. Because at the end of the day, we all have something we could talk about. I don't care where you live, what your religion is, what we do. We all are a part of the human race. We all have blood flowing through our bodies. We all go through things. So I just want to encourage my friends who have lost spouses. And I want to encourage my friends who have that empty chair sitting across from them. Or my friends who have lost children, grandchildren, aunts and uncles. You know, my mom was married 2 times, and so with her first husband, she had 9 kids. And, with her first husband, she had 7. And then my father, she had 2, so she had 9 altogether. Well, my father's first marriage, he had, I forgot, maybe 5 or 6 kids. But here's the thing. With the blended family, and there are a lot of blended families today, with the blended family, there were 14 of us. And there left, there's myself, my brother that just turned 90, and my sister that just turned 91. So out of, I would say 14 kids, blended family, there's 3 of us left. But that's life, isn't it, friends? None of us come here to stay. And we have to make the best of it while we're here. You know? So it's all good. And sometimes I just want to talk. I just want to ramble. And please forgive me if I make mistakes in my language or you see me kind of struggling for the word to use, because I don't edit my videos. I don't go back and cut stuff out. What you see is what you get. I want you to see the real me, not an edited version, not making my life look like it's something that it's not. I'm full of gratitude for you guys, those that follow me and those that don't. Just those who tune in to me. And if I can touch just one person, I encourage just one person by saying it's all right. You're going to make it. I will. Or I can. Or I hope I can. And if I could just encourage that one person, I would have done my job. I would have reached my goal. So I'm just your everyday little senior. You know, I got in my car yesterday and the engine didn't, not the engine, you know, where you put your key, it didn't want to turn over. It went, and then it finally turned on. I'm like, oh Lord, what is wrong with this car? What is it the starter or what is it? And so I took it up to Goodyear. It's this place up the street from me. They are so very nice, so accommodating. They took my car right in. You know, a lot of times you go and you got to wait hours and hours. Maybe it was just a slow day, I don't know, but they took it right in. And then the lady who was there at the desk, she was so very nice. And she came back and she said, Miss Mary, it's not your starter, it's your battery. And I'm like, my battery? I think that's a new battery. Maybe no more than 2 years. She said, are you sure? I said, I think so. I said, but maybe the information is in my glove compartment. So she was so very nice. She went, because they had my car in the bay, and you know customers cannot go to the bay. And I respect that. But she went out to my glove compartment and brought back my book from my glove compartment. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to take time to do that. And so we went through it. And there it was, of course, the last battery I put in that car was not in that folder. So I'm like, well, my goodness. So I looked the number up to call where I got it from. I got it from AutoZone. They would not answer. Finally, they answered and they put me on hold. And I was on hold forever, seemed like. So I hung up and called another AutoZone. They put me on hold. It was the same thing. Very frustrating. Because I was trying to make a decision that if that battery had expired, I was going to tell Goodyear, just go ahead and put another battery in. So finally I told her, she said, what's the problem, Miss Mary? I said, they won't respond. She said, what's the number I'll call? She didn't have to do that. But she called, and of course they answered right away because they probably saw the Goodyear ID on that phone. They didn't want to answer for me, but they answered for her. And I heard her ask, she gave my information and everything, and I heard her say, so when did the battery expire? And they told her. And so she got off the phone and she said, Miss Mary, your battery expired. The warranty on it expired in 2021, so it's no longer good. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, well, I've already authorized you all to do the oil change because I needed an oil change. I'm a procrastinator when it comes to that. I need to quit that, letting my car go. And oil changes are very important. Anyway, so she said, I said to her, I said, you've already did the oil change. Can you just go ahead and put a battery in it? And she said, sure. And so I thanked her because I know she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to go and get my thing out of my glove compartment. She didn't have to call AutoZone. She didn't have to do any of that. But she did. She took the time. So see, I just want to say that just because we look at the news and just because we think that the world is going to pot, what the old folks say, the world is going to pot. It doesn't mean that everybody is going to pot. We still have people in this world that are kind, loving, and helpful. And I'm going to tell you one thing, too, that this is funny. As I'm getting older, people seem to, where I live at, people seem to, I know sometimes people can be disrespectful to older people, but I don't experience a lot of that. I smile, talk to people, tell people how pretty they look, because they do. They do. And compliment them on what they have and or whatever. And when I go out to eat, I'm always talking to somebody at the other table. And they talking to me, talking to them in the line. You know, it's because we all in this together. Aren't we? Aren't we in this together? So, you know, I just feel that, and to see when I was telling you that and doing all of this laughing, I forgot my thought. I forgot where I was going with this. Let's see, where was I going with this? But anyway, I was talking about the lady at Goodyear and how nice and kind she was, and how when I drove off, my car was just driving just fine. Because, you know, I was thinking, oh man, what's wrong with the car, and how much is it going to cost, and how long are they going to have it? Because I only have one car, and out here where I live at, I don't have any family really close to me, and I'm probably too much of an independent person because I hate asking for help. Now, I'm trying to work on that. I really am. I've always been pretty much independent, but sometimes you can get overly independent, and there's help out there for you, and you suffer because you won't reach out for it. I'm sort of like that. But like I say, friends, I'm working on it. And you know, it's all good. This coffee I bought in Hawaii, and you know, they're known for their coffees. This coffee is so good. I really don't want to get up and, because I don't have the camera where to go back and forth with me, but I'm going to show you the name of that coffee that they sell in Hawaii. I don't think you can find it here. But I just wanted to have this time to share with you all, just from the heart. Just from the heart. From me to you. Because I enjoy talking to you guys. I really do. And I enjoy your support. I enjoy your understanding. Because I'm just your everyday person. You know, like I say, sometimes I may twist words. Sometimes I may stutter a little bit. You know, my father had a stuttering problem, and I was always afraid that was going to affect me. And every now and then, I will stutter just a little bit, but not much, not like what he had. And but he didn't have a real bad problem, you know. He just had, you know, I learned this from my sisters and my brothers, you know, and my family, because like I say, I don't remember my father. But I remember my mother, and like I say, my mother was a fine person. She was a great cook. I miss her. You know, I miss all of my brothers and sisters. You know, I have this friend. She has 11 in her family, and her oldest brother, I think, is like 80-something. And none of them have gone on. Isn't that wonderful? They all 11 are still here. And I'm really like, wow, what a blessing. All 11 are still here. The chain hasn't been broken. Now, that's another thing the old folk used to say. The chain has not been broken. I'm sitting here trying to think, what am I going to make for breakfast? I have these wheat pancakes. I tried to stop eating white pancakes. You know, I told you I'm type 2 diabetic. So I'm trying different stuff. But these sweet pancakes by Meals, I think next time I make them, I'm going to make a video of them. I'm going to show you the package. I'm going to show you how you make them. I'm going to show you how they come out, because they're really good. They're wheat pancakes. I've gone to wheat pancakes, wheat bread, wheat rice, all that kind of stuff, you know. Trying to stay healthy, you know. So, friends, I really love you guys. My station is just not for boomers or seniors. Sure, a lot of my content does come out for them, but it's for anybody. Anybody that finds my content to be helpful, informative, it's for you too. Anybody that finds my content to be encouraging and uplifting, it's for you too. Because in my life, I have been encouraged. Times when I was on the floor with my face in the dirt, and guess what? I didn't want to get up. But I've been encouraged. I've been uplifted. And like I say, I'm a spiritual person. I didn't do this alone, by no means, and I don't give myself credit. So you know what? I'm full of gratitude and thanksgiving and thankfulness, because I didn't do this by myself. I've come from a long way, and I have a lot of stories, and I've had people say, you know what, Mary, you should write a book. I said to myself, I don't know how to write a book. They said, well, you can learn. I'm like, I need to think about that. But you know, since I have this YouTube channel, it is my book. Guess what? It's a free book too. And I don't have to go through publishers. I don't, you know, I'm a writer though. I can write poems, and I can write, you know, I can really write, but I don't know if I want to write a book. I don't know. You know, they say you're never too old to do these things. And I agree. As long as there's breath and life in your body, the things you want to do, you're never too old to do those. You guys remember that. Because when that thought tries to invade your mind and take up residence, kick it out. You got to go. You can't live here. You got to go. Because it's things I got to do, places I got to see, things I've got to taste, things I've got to enjoy. You got to go. Because I'm full of joy. Happiness, yes. But happiness is temporary. It depends on the external environment. Joy lives inside. It's in the heart. It's in the spirit. It's in the soul. It never goes away. Even during those hard times, it never goes away. It just lays dormant until we understand that joy is still there and we start moving toward bringing it back. It doesn't ever go away because it's a part of you. It's what God has given us. It's a part of you. Okay? So, excuse me. Let me get a sip of coffee. Wow. That's good. It's nothing like having taste. One time I was sick and I couldn't taste anything and I really missed it. I'm like, man, having the ability to taste the pleasures of life is wonderful. It's wonderful. So all my little friends that are living alone, it's all right. It's all right. And I'm sitting here trying to think about what my sister in Jersey says. She has this saying, and she says it all the time. I can't remember. I can't understand why I can't remember it. But she says that she has this saying every time I talk to her, and she's such a sweetheart. She just turned 91. And she doesn't know it, but I'm thinking about making a trip up there to see her. I just don't want to fly during the shutdown. I just really don't. But I owe her a trip. I need to go see my sister because she just turned 91. And so she's been trying to get down here to see me. We both been trying to get to see each other. But, you know, we talk on the phone, and I just love my sister. She's in our blended family. She and I share the same father. We share it. And she's told me a lot of stuff about my father I never knew because I never knew him. And she's told me so much that it kind of makes me feel like I knew him. And so it's all good. But I cannot think of that. She says, oh, I know what she says. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I knew it would come to me. Every time we talk, I say, how you doing? I'm too blessed to be stressed. And she's lived 91 years. So it's all good, friends. I love you guys. I don't know if today here is Saturday around going on 2 o'clock. I don't know when you'll view the video, but whenever you do, have a great day. Enjoy the weekend if you view it during the weekend. If you view it next week, have a great next week. And just remember, we're too blessed to be stressed. All is well. And that fear and doubt, kick it out. It has to go. There's no room here. But you know what? That takes work and that takes time. And I'm not going to say that it's just that easy because it's not. Because I work on it every day. Every day. Because I'm just like you. I love you.